Police make a wild discovery underneath a synagogue in Brooklyn.
An illegal tunnel found below the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Crown Heights.
All right, Fox 5's Lisa Evers takes a look at how it was discovered.
9 men are facing charges this afternoon after police say they dug a secret tunnel into the sanctuary of the Chabad Lubavitch headquarters in Brooklyn.
The men, described by police as extremist students, are accused of digging the tunnel so that they would be able to have access to the sanctuary after hours. And when a cement truck was brought in to fill that tunnel, the men stood in the tunnel, refusing to leave.
The discovery of a secret tunnel eventually led to a massive brawl inside a 100-year-old synagogue in Brooklyn, New York. Known as 770, the synagogue serves one of the largest groups of Hasidic Jews in the world. Now, luckily, no injuries were reported from this brawl, believe it or not. But what the hell sparked it? What is behind the brawl in the first place? What got people so fired up? Well, it was all over the discovery of a tunnel and an attempt by authorities to fill it with cement. So you see a gentleman coming out of that tunnel. This isn't in the Middle East, guys. This is in Brooklyn, okay? This is in Brooklyn.
If you haven't heard by now of what I call Mattress Gate or Tunnel Gate, there is a big scandal in New York City. Chaos broke out inside of a Jewish synagogue because of a massive tunnel that was discovered under this historic site in New York City. And when authorities tried to shut it down, sheer chaos ensued from these Jewish guys using it. Wild footage is circulating online showing a frenetic scene Monday at the Chabad Lubavitch World Headquarters in Brooklyn's Crown Heights, serving as the meeting location and place of worship for Orthodox Jews in that area. And it all has to do with this hidden tunnel. Long story short, this underground enclosure leading into this synagogue was stumbled upon last month by people who reported hearing weird noises under their homes. There are reports that a select group from this synagogue were using this tunnel to access a women's bathing area. This viral event literally took social media by storm, starting with this mattress. This mattress is so gross that this would not be on the list of mattresses we used to flip on growing up. Also, what stands out about this mattress is that it's a baby mattress. What were they doing in those tunnels? What were they doing on this mattress to cause this gross stain?
And I want to be clear, there's been conflicting reporting on this story. When I was reading about it recently, there were claims that the tunnel was built specifically to skirt COVID orders that closed down religious buildings and that people wanted to continue worshiping. And so they needed a secret pathway or passageway into the synagogue. But I don't think that's really what's going on here. So why was the secret tunnel built in the first place? This is where it gets complicated.
I am not buying what some of these news articles are saying in terms of why this tunnel was built. One of the supposed reasons given is that these guys were concerned about COVID, and so they decided to take it upon themselves to build an extension to this synagogue, an underground tunnel to be exact. They were supposedly so concerned with their health that they built a filthy tunnel in New York City. Seeing this baby mattress reminded me of a major child abuse scandal that rocked this community years ago. Take a look at these clips and make a note of each reference from their oral law called the Talmud.
He was sexually abused by a trusted teacher and then was shunned by his community as he tried to get justice.
And Janine, the teen you're about to meet is the first sex abuse victim from New Square to ever seek justice from the courts.
He told me that he has the ability to read the palm of my hands.
Yossi's life coach started to read other parts of his body. That ritualistic abuse, Yossi says, dragged on 3 times a week for 4 agonizing months, each time Taubenfeld ordering him to stay silent.
Digging deeper tonight, new concerns about an alleged epidemic of sex abuse being covered up in New York's ultra-Orthodox Hasidic Jewish community.
A New York rabbi arrested in Beverly Hills, accused of molesting children in Brooklyn.
Menachem Tewel, who also goes by the name Mendel Tevel, is a rabbi. During the last year, he's worked here at this Jewish Center, JEM, in Beverly Hills, doing outreach work with children and teenagers. And Tuesday, he was arrested here on a warrant from New York, accusing him of 2 counts of criminal sexual acts and 1 count of sexual abuse.
I was 7 times a victim of molestation, 7 separate molesters.
Disturbing allegations are surfacing in a very unexpected place.
For centuries, when a Jewish baby boy is born, the ancient ritual of circumcision is performed. But in some ultra-Orthodox communities, religious leaders known as moyals also engage in something controversial during the bris. In a practice known as Metzitze Bepeh, or just MBP, the moil actually uses his mouth to suck the blood from the infant's penis after he cuts off the foreskin. According to these documents we obtained from the State Health Department, Rabbi Yitzhak Fisher of Muncie has been tied to at least 3 herpes infections in babies, one of whom died back in 2004. One of whom died back in 2004. One of whom died back in 2004.
Now you can have tubes, so why not? The answer, as I thought about it, is that it's not as effective because the tube does not seal as well. It's not as pliable. It's not as quick, and it's not as close. You have to have a quick suction action. There's the theory, some people feel that it is, some people feel that it's not, that the saliva of a human being has some antiseptic qualities. And it's actually brought in the halacha of the Talmud that the saliva of certain people were actually used as curatives. Saliva is not a bad thing. Saliva has elements of cleaning, of antiseptic elements within it. The suction process of the mouth is quicker, more pliable, and it's more exact and works much better.
33-year-old Rabbi Yoel Malik, now accused of preying on 3 troubled teen boys from a Borough Park yeshiva for at-risk students. Unlicensed Satmar counselor Nekemia Weberman was sentenced to 103 years in prison for turning a schoolgirl into his sex toy for 3 years, starting when she was just 12.
Do you think that if someone knows something, if someone's been abused, do you think they should go to the police, or do you think they should go to the rabbis first?
Try the rabbis first.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm Jewish and we have our law.
What activities did they plan on carrying out in this secret tunnel? What secret rituals were performed in this tunnel? I want you to watch and listen to this clip from an episode titled Mexican Cult Murders, broadcasted May 1st, 1989 on The Oprah Winfrey Show.
As a child, my next guest was used also in worshiping the devil, participated in human sacrifice rituals and cannibalism. She says her family has been involved in rituals for generations. She is currently in extensive therapy, suffers from multiple personality disorder, meaning she's blocked out many of the terrifying and painful memories of her childhood. Meet Rachel, who is also in disguise to protect her identity. My next guest treats ritually abused children in her therapist practice. She feels that the problem is much more widespread than any of us can imagine. Says there's no doubt in her mind that the children and adults that she treats are telling the truth. Tina Grossman, we're glad to have all of you join us here on the show. You come from generations of ritualistic abuse?
Yes, my family has an extensive family tree, and they keep track of who's been involved and who hasn't been involved. And it's gone back to like 1700.
And so you were
right.
abused.
I was born into a family that believes in this.
And this is does everyone else think it's a nice Jewish family? From the outside, you appear to be a nice Jewish girl.
Definitely.
And you all are worshiping the devil inside the home?
Right. There's other Jewish families across the country. It's not just my own family.
Really? And so who knows about it? Lots of people now.
I talked to a police detective in the Chicago area, and several of my friends know, and I've spoke publicly before. And
so when you were brought up in this kind of evilness, did you just think it was normal?
I blocked out a lot of the memories I had because of my multiple personality disorder. But yes, I mean, it's like if you grow up with something, you think it's normal.
Mm-hmm.
I always thought.
So what kinds of things? You don't have to give us the gory details, but what kinds of things went on in the family?
Well, there would be rituals in which babies would be sacrificed, and you would have to, you know.
Whose babies?
There were people who bred babies in our family. No one would know about it. A lot of people were overweight, so you couldn't tell if they were pregnant or not, or they would supposedly go away for a while and then come back.
Now, you were telling us earlier that the practice with the Kilroy death was a religion called
Palamayombe, which not all people who practice Palamayombe obviously sacrifice. I think what we're looking at is a worship of evil here.
Right.
Taking normal or standard religions and converting them to the worship of evil.
Right. And I just want to emphasize that you don't have to be Caribbean to do it.
No.
Yes.
The other thing I want to point out, not all Jewish people sacrifice babies. I mean, that's not a very typical thing. I just want to point that out.
This is the first time I heard of any Jewish people sacrificing babies.
Now listen closely to what this Jewish guy said in regards to how situations like this, as well as others, are handled among their community. This should shed light on why this group was bold enough to physically assault the local law enforcement and not be subjected to the consequences had it been a group of Negroes.
Do you think that if someone knows something, if someone's been abused, do you think they should go to the police, or do you think they should go to the rabbis first?
Try the rabbis first.
Why do you say that?
Because I'm Jewish and we have our law.
What's your thoughts? Please be respectful with your comments. Also, please click the like, click the notification bell, and subscribe to this channel.
Listen, Genesis chapter 11 verse 10 explains the genealogy of Shem. Shem was a black man in Africa. If you repeat this back, Genesis 14 verse 13, Abraham steps on the scene. Being a descendant of Shem, which is a fact, means Abraham too was Abraham, born in the city of a black man called Nimrod, grandson of Ham. Ham had 4 sons. One was named Canaan. Here, let me do some explaining. Abraham, Isaac was Jacob had 12 sons, for real, and these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10, these were the children of Israel. According to Genesis chapter 10.